the fans with lots of thrills through the years. Excellent top fighter, but not a guy who someone looked at, like you say, maybe Tank has the potential to be #1 pound for pound.
Floyd Mayweather and Max Kellerman go head-to-head, discussing Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney, showering Stevenson with praise, while declaring him the future undisputed champion in the making.
Floyd says boxing has many great fights available, but real success comes from professional talks and agreement.
Before, and I talked about this the other day, as far as so many belts, so many champions, but if we can sit down and come to the table.
Floyd points out that boxing may have countless exciting fights on paper, but real success is built through professional discussions and solid agreements.
Following him.
That's what I'm asking. You've been the best at playing the boxing game. When you said TBE, in the ring, someone else can have that. I'm talking about the whole thing. You're right. You've played the boxing game better than anyone. The way you think about it, which is a lot of times the way promoters think about it, is not just in terms of the quality of the athlete. Obviously, Santa Cruz is high quality.
Max Kellerman breaks down the matchup strategically, calling it a savvy business decision with the potential to generate huge pay-per-view revenue.
The guy that's made the most money, Floyd Mayweather, I feel like he be showing you love. Like,
that's my God.
Yeah.
That's my God, bro.
Look,
he called me the other day. He just called me the other day. He called me, what, 2 days ago?
What'd he say?
He had a whole lot to say. I don't like to put it like,
I give me a little something. You ain't gotta say the whole shit, but it's Floyd, nigga. You know niggas thinking down. He's an idol, Floyd.
One day he was just saying he don't think that I should be the B side of this. But his upcoming fight. And he think I should be the A side. And he really felt strongly about it, but no, it is what it is, bro. I appreciate Floyd. That's my God. I wouldn't even never say nothing bad about Floyd.
Yeah.
But also, bro, A, B, C, D, E. Put me in that ring with that nigga, gang.
Whatever, right? Whatever.
Put me in the ring, bro, and I'm ready to show who I am, bro. So that's how I
Shakur shares that Floyd personally reached out to offer guidance on skills, defensive positioning, and techniques to elevate his overall boxing IQ.
If Shakur Stevenson want to keep that momentum and daring to be great, enhancing his greatness, we all know he's motivated and inspired by his mentor, Terrence Bud Crawford, that his next fight should be versus Devin the Dream Haney, moving up to the 147-pound division, because with that victory, he'll become a 5-division world champion, 3-division lineal champion, because I'm sure that Turkey Al Sheikh Ring will put that fight, will put the ring belt on the line, because I believe that Devin Haney is probably the best welterweight at the moment. He'll accomplish all of that by the age of 29. 5-division world champion, 3-division lineal champion. Come on now. Hey, Shakur Stevenson, you the WBO champion, 140-pound division. You could easily petition the WBO to make you the immediate mandatory to Devin the Dream Haney. I think that's the best fight right there. Let me know what y'all think.
Show who I am, bro. That's my approach. Many fans believe Shakur shouldn't wait any longer and should challenge Devin Haney immediately to prove himself against elite competition. No excuses.
It was strictly just to try to piss Shakur off so that maybe Shakur would come out and try to land a big shot on him. He knew that was his only chance. And I knew that was his only chance. So if Shakur came out and went right at him like that, that would have gave him a chance to try to land something big and lucky. Other than that, he's never had the feet to keep up with to keep up with Shakur, because Shakur has some of the best feet in the game, and people don't understand that. What makes it so hard is that his foot game is so on point that he can make you miss this much. Because now, used to be he would jump way back. Now he's not doing that anymore. Now he just stepping back just enough to make you miss so he can get what he wants after you miss. That makes him highly dangerous. And to see him improve on that and come bring it to the forefront in the biggest fight of his career is great. But I want to say something else.
Roy Jones Jr. praises Shakur's footwork, speed, and ring intelligence, saying his smart movement and strategic planning set him apart from the rest.
So it's like maybe something that Devin can definitely go out up there with ease, only need to deal with the size, but he's probably going to have the speed advantage because he's a smaller guy coming up. So, I mean, you tell me, do you feel like that's going to be harder than the Lomachenko fight?
No. I think Loma would probably be his hardest top 2 or 3 fights in his whole career. I could predict that even going to the end, you know, to say if Devin fight 8, 9, 10 more years, that'd be one of his top 2 or 3 hardest fights because the age that he fought him. Loma was at his very peak. He was at his peak. He was older. He was right there at his top peak.
Mickey Bay breaks down the potential Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney fight calmly, focusing on realistic advantages over hype. He notes that Haney could step up confidently, thanks to his experience on big stages, while size is the main factor to consider. Shakur is naturally smaller, but lightning fast with precise timing. Bay explains that this speed difference might actually benefit Haney, as smaller fighters often rely on movement rather than raw power.
So, no, it won't be as hard as that. But size-wise, yeah, I mean, that's a big factor because we saying the dude that was just lightweight a couple years ago. But, you know, Dad wanted to be great. That's just something that's in him. It's only a few dudes like that in boxing right now that really want to do that kind of stuff. So, I mean, he got my blessing in making the fight. Like, Bill did ask me about it maybe a few weeks ago. I don't know how much further it got, but he did ask me what I thought. Like, you know, easy work.
Pretty much, you can see he's willing to fight anybody. Like, he doesn't really care who he fights.
He'll fight now too. It ain't no, like, we ain't doing no weight class or none of that. Like, now
when comparing opponents, Bay believes the Lomachenko fight was far tougher than a potential Stevenson matchup. He explains that Lomachenko faced Devin at his peak, with elite skills and veteran instincts, making it one of the hardest tests of Haney's career. In contrast, Bay feels Shakur would bring challenges, but not at the same level of difficulty or physical maturity. He also notes that Devin only recently competed at lightweight, so the size difference shouldn't feel overwhelming. Most importantly, Bay respects Devin's mindset, describing him as a fighter who genuinely seeks greatness and embraces risky fights without hesitation. He even shares that Bill Haney asked his opinion on the matchup, and Bay openly supported making it happen.
Devin Haney is a tremendous fighter, but obviously he believes in himself and that he will beat Devin Haney. To that, Devin Haney responded, "I believe you're a tremendous fighter, but I'll beat you." And then Devin Haney stated, "Well, I want to fight your little brother, who is Keyshawn Davis, superstar, WBO former lightweight world champion, who called out Devin Haney and stated because he didn't like how Devin Haney treated him when they was younger, when Shakur brought him around, so on and so forth." So Devin Haney said, "You know something? I want to fight Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn, let's make it happen. And then you're the little brother," because Shakur and Keyshawn made it abundantly clear they have no interest in fighting each other because of their relationship, although they're not blood brothers.
What makes the situation even more compelling is that Haney called out Keyshawn Davis first. Analysts see this as both a strategic and personal move. Davis, a former champion with rising star power, reportedly carries lingering tension from past encounters, adding real emotion to the potential matchup. Since Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn share a close bond and have no desire to fight each other, Haney targeting Davis, the little brother, creates a layered storyline that could naturally build toward a showdown with Stevenson afterward. From both a business and competitive standpoint, experts note that Haney has consistently been willing to negotiate fair terms, with the only sticking point remaining the rehydration clause. With both camps confident and trading subtle warnings, analysts agree that when the gloves finally touch, skills, not hype, will determine the outcome. If these fights come to fruition, fans could witness a defining chapter in modern boxing.
Great storyline. So now Shakur puts up a cryptic message and responds and says, "Be careful what you wish for. You just might get it." Well, remember, Devin Haney made an offer when he was at 135 to stay at 135 to fight Shakur. Shakur didn't like the offer, which means Devin Haney is more than willing to make the fight. Devin Haney is saying if you want to make the fight, his father, trainer, manager, Bill Haney, CEO of DHP, Devin Haney Promotions, is saying, "We'll make the fight gladly, but we're not doing a 10-pound rehydration clause." So Shakur is saying, be careful what you wish for. Skills pay the bills, as Shakur said. And Shakur said he don't like people putting rehydration clause on people because it handicaps them and you can't get credit. Well, then he says on Najee with Cigar Talk, and Devin Haney's not a unaliver.
Roy Jones Jr. breaks down the potential Devin Haney versus Keshin Davis matchup with a keen eye on timing, weight, and overall preparedness. He points out that weight management could be a decisive factor for both fighters, suggesting a catch weight around 143 to 144 pounds to create a more balanced and competitive fight. According to Jones, Devin holds the advantage in technical tools, ring IQ, and experience, having faced elite-level opponents for years and developed the ability to adapt under high-pressure situations. This combination, he notes, could make Haney the favorite on paper, though Davis's power and youth still make the bout intriguing.
Do that means that the weight was probably an issue. Now, if Keyshawn comes up, or if they even do a catch weight, a 143, 144, it's going to be a very interesting fight because I think Devin has more tools and more IQ right now, but Keyshawn is different. So when you got a guy that's different, and that's why I also said that he's not just back, he's different. You understand me? So when you got a guy that has that intangibleness about him, where he can be a different guy when it's time to be a different guy, you can never count him out. However, if I were pushing Keyshawn, I would have another fight or two before I fight Devin, just for experience purposes. And if I was Devin, I would try to jump on it right now before he gets those couple fights, because the more experience he gets, the harder he's going to become to beat.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough fight, you know, for Keyshawn Davis. And I think in many respects, Devin Haney too. You can't take Keyshawn Davis light. He can really
Roy Jones
fight.
Jr.
However,
highlights that Keshin Davis brings a unique unpredictability that can't be quantified with stats alone. He describes Keshin as a fighter with rare intangibles, someone who can shift rhythm, energy, and style in the middle of a fight, making him dangerous even against a seasoned champion like Devin Haney. Strategically, Roy advises patience for Keshin, recommending 1 or 2 more bouts to gain seasoning before taking such a high-stakes challenge. Conversely, he suggests that Devin move quickly if interested, since additional experience will only make Keshin tougher to overcome. Ultimately, Roy frames it as a high-risk, high-reward matchup capable of elevating both careers and testing true greatness.
The weight difference is a concern, and it's a fair question. Is he ready now? Is he ready a fight or two from now? But that's the fight, really. If you really want to you want to scream, I'm back. That's the type of fight that you want, because obviously it's in the Turkey Al-Sheikh universe, and that's a fight that's going to get made. You're going to make a career high payday. But if you are able to beat Devin Haney, brother, when I say the sky's the limit, the sky is the limit. But that ain't going to be no easy pickings for both guys. The weight is a concern, but I would love to see
Shakur
it
Stevenson is widely regarded as one of boxing's most technically gifted fighters. Analysts are particularly intrigued by the potential matchup with Conor Bennett, even though the fight hasn't been finalized. Observers note that Shakur often seems effortless in the ring, operating in second or third gear while reading punches with uncanny precision and anticipating his opponent's every move. This extraordinary ring IQ allows him to neutralize attacks before they fully develop, making him a nightmare for most competitors.
There's no way that was Shakur Stevenson fighting at 100%. He was in second, third, maybe. He wasn't flat out, pedal to the metal, trying to get this guy out of there. That was him fighting comfortably. Which begs the question why Conor Ben is like, yeah, make the fight next, make it next. I'm like, are you sure? And look, I'm trying to rack my brains as to what kind of fighter could give Shakur Stevenson problems. For one, I think Shakur really judges the way people throw punches unbelievably well. Every little twitch he is absolutely like aware of, and he is predicting your every second in that fight. So you got to be unpredictable, right? You got to feint a lot. Now, Conor Ben does feint a lot. To be fair, he did a lot of that against Chris Eubank Jr. I thought Teofimo Lopez headhunted too much, and he didn't have a lot of power on his body shots when he did throw them. So I think you got to mix the shots up. You got to have good body punches. You got to put power into them.
Conor Bennett presents a distinct challenge for Shakur Stevenson. Analysts highlight his ability to generate significant power, especially with body shots, combined with a skill at feinting to manipulate timing and openings. Unlike fighters such as Teofimo Lopez, who struggled to match Shakur's speed and technical mastery, Bennett's mix of power, unpredictability, and tactical movement could force adjustments in Stevenson's game plan. Comparisons to Ryan Garcia emphasize the matchmaking complexity in this division, While Garcia has shown flashes of brilliance, inconsistency has limited his effectiveness. Ultimately, analysts agree. Anyone who hopes to truly challenge Shakur must pair strength with strategic creativity.
He wasn't too strong for him. He wasn't too quick for him. When someone's that technically gifted, you're going to need something to equalize it. You could argue Conor Ben is going to hit harder than Shakur Stevenson. I think that stands to reason. He does. So maybe, and I'm just, before people think that this is what I think is going to be the reason for why Conor Ben wins the fight, just calm down in the comments before you get on my case. But I'm just trying to, like, go there and think, what are you saying? Because right now, most fighters should be saying, I'm gonna stay the fuck away from Shakur Stevenson. But let's take a look at Ryan Garcia as a potential opponent for Conor Ben and figure out which direction he really should go in here. Obviously, we all remember the Devin Haney fight where he rocked Devin Haney constantly throughout that fight. But the fight after that was a million miles away from that performance. I honestly don't know what the was up with Ryan Garcia in this fight. He was tentative. He got dropped in the second round.
The WBC's decision to strip Shakur Stevenson of his 135 pounds title has stirred significant debate. Stevenson had made it clear he intended to move up in weight for bigger challenges while planning to return to 135 pounds. But the sanctioning body invoked Rule 7.3, requiring him to pay a 50% sanctioning fee even when the belt wasn't on the line, a move many insiders call unreasonable. Analysts note that this bureaucratic rigidity clashes with Stevenson's ambition for high-profile fights, creating tension between the fighter and the organization. Despite the controversy, Stevenson remains focused on career-defining matchups, with names like Josh Kelly, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, and Rolly Romero frequently mentioned. Experts agree that his elite skills, combined with strategic fight selection, keep him firmly at the forefront of boxing's top talent.
But he wants the big fights, and this could be the final hurdle to a big fight. But this is a big hurdle. Telling you, remember I said it, this is a big, I might even do a separate video on this. Because again, I think a lot of people maybe don't know, Figueroa has come from boxing stock. Like, this guy's been doing it a while, he's not damaged goods, and again, he's only lost to Stephen Fulton. Do you know what I mean? And look at some of the names I read off that he's beaten. Experienced names, guys that have fought other guys that were good fights. It's not easy. All right, Shakur Stevenson blast WBC and responds to being stripped of a 135-pound title. This is a bit wild. It's a bit wild. And the reason it's a bit wild, so many different reasons actually, but one of the biggest reasons is that Shakur has always said, I want to go up to fight Tio, but I want to come back down to 135. So basically, he's almost telling the WBC, let me go up there, I will come back down.
That's it for today's breakdown. Make sure to stay tuned for more updates, fight analysis, and behind-the-scenes insights. Until next time, keep your gloves up and your eyes on the ring.